on your what we done started. Look at what we done started. This the people party. Peace and love, party people. It's Talib Kweli, the BKMC, the MCEO. This is another fantastic edition of the world's best podcast, The People's Party. Thank you for riding with us. Thank you for taking the journey with us. Today actually is the first episode of our brand new collaboration with Luminary, which is now the exclusive home for the audio version of People's Party. So shout out to Luminary and thanks for supporting the world's best podcast. And as always and as usual, I have my lovely and talented and beautiful and thoughtful and intelligent co-host, Jasmin Leigh, in the place to be. What's up, Jasmin? How you feeling?
I am feeling absolutely amazing. I cannot wait for this person that I shared the elevator with, but there was no fighting.
Yeah, man. This person that we have on is actually one of the maybe...
Stop. Stop there. Just stop. Don't do it.
So you're not going to let me do the intro?
No.
It's so much here, though. It's so much here, though.
It's okay. We don't have to do that.
So how about we do this? How about you do the intro?
Okay. That's even more good. That's even more awkward. Listen, my name is Yasiin Bey. Your people know who you are. That's Jasmin Leigh. You're one of my oldest and dearest friends.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna dispense with any of the pretenses. I know we're having a lot of production realities going on.
Yeah.
But I'm going to attempt, as we talked about earlier, to have as earnest and open a conversation as we normally do.
That's right.
When the cameras and the microphones are off while they're on.
Yes.
Shout out to Black Alfalfa in the back.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me more about Anwar Khalifi, because last time I was in Barcelona with you, you took me to an art exhibit. Whose exhibit was that?
No, that was the Juan Miró Museum.
Yes.
You were on your phone. You were on Twitter at that time.
I was taking pictures.
No, you were on Twitter.
Yeah, I took pictures and I tweeted them, and I was like, "Look how fly."
You tweeted about it.
Yeah. Look how fly my life is.
Right on.
But
those were the days. Remember shows, y'all. Remember shows.
I know.
But tell us about this artist and why you wanted to showcase his work.
It's Black Alfalfa. I mean, come on.
So, Yasiin, the first time we met was in Washington Square Park, and you bought everybody in the park who we were hanging out with and rapping with hamburgers.
I've heard this story many times.
Yeah, I want to thank you publicly because you've heard it privately, but I want to thank you publicly.
I mean, I know what it was like to be. I had many hungry days myself out there. By the park. So it was like, hey, I know what it's like.
Right.
So I got a little bread. I was like, hey,
right.
Let's eat.
You had a couple of acting gigs at that time, so we used to see you on TV and then we see you in the park.
Local youths.
No doubt.
Trying to do something creative and not, get caught up in the streets.
Right. That Brooklyn bullshit. We was on it.
It was on us.
Right.
It was on. It was around. Whether you was on it, it was on you. It was around. So.
Yeah,
that was the time. That's how we met.
Umi says "Honoring Your Mom," which I absolutely love that song. I was just listening to it on repeat this morning. Such an important song. Her advice in it: "Shine your light on the world."
My mom's is my hero, and my father's is someone I love and admire a great deal. And that the way that song came out is, I don't know if it's Umi says it's a freestyle in essence in terms of the lyrics, and the music too. It's just like it was me in the studio, just came up with the bass line, I played the drums, and then I just started, kind of talking blues over it. And it started, and then Weldon Irving came, Will I Am played
rest in peace to Weldon.
Rest in peace to Weldon Irving. And Will I Am came and played the roads on it, and it was just like, at this moment, So I'm happy it happened, and it's nice to have something like that, just personal and dedicated to your parents, be recognized and appreciated. So yeah, I'm glad people enjoyed it.
I'm honored to have a relationship with both Umi and Abi, and they have helped shape me as a man as well, just from their influence in my life as well. So I appreciate them as well.
Sure. Same with your, I mean, your parents too was Dr. Green and your dad, just that presence in the community, and in your life has been. I mean, it's the elders, it's the OGs. I mean, you may not always agree with them, but they merit respect, and because they survived. So, and my mother and my father came up with some very challenging times and eras, and they shared a lot of necessary and positive information and examples with me. And my father, I mean, I don't think every so often, not more than every so often, and I'm quoting something that he said to me as a young boy or as a young man, or as an adult that really resonated. That he's got a treasure trove of them. 10% condition, 90% response. So he's like that guy.
I feel one of the greatest accomplishments is to make your parents proud. And I know your mother probably really felt amazing having having you write a song pretty much kind of dedicated to her. How did she feel when she heard it?
She feels good about it, I mean, it wasn't like, I can't imagine. I mean, if one of my sons, if one of my kids, wrote a song about me, it kind of would be like one of these moments, like, wow, So I guess I could relate to it from that point of view. But she didn't say she approves, which is, all I could ask for. There's certain things that she didn't like. There's one thing that I did that she didn't like.
What was that?
She didn't like the Sex, Love, and Money video. I mean, I like that video.
I mean, the video goes with the song,
it goes with the song, but she didn't like it.
Right.
And it was the first time that I had heard her like express like displeasure with the thing. She got the narrative, but she didn't like the video. And I was like, oh wow.
Right.
And in hindsight, it was like, I got it. I was like, yeah, well, I kind of understand why my mom's not like that video. I was having a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. You mentioned earlier UTDs, the group you were in with Seth and DCQ, your brother Denard. Seth is my friend who you saw earlier when we were setting up.
Right.
And I was like,
we seen Seth out mad times.
Yeah. You seen Seth out all the time. Now,
all the time.
I'm gonna do soon on my IG like a Most Def DJ set, and I was collecting all the records together, and I played Manifest Destiny, and Seth jumped up, right? And he's like, "What you know about that song?" I'm like, "What you mean?" He's like, "I had that song on a TDK back in the day. I don't know who it is. All I know is that song is the shit." And I said, "Well, let me bust your head for a second. You know who's rapping on that song? It's Most Def rapping on a song." He said, "No, it's not. What you talking about?" I pulled up the video, and he said, "That is Most Def."
Yeah.
So
wow.
I know personally how much you're inspired, particularly by DCQ, the creation of UTDs, the creation of Medina Green. But can you tell my audience who DCQ is and what he means to you?
DCQ. Wow, what I mean, it's like a legend.
Yes.
DCQ was
an
acronym. Yeah, you know the flex. DCQ was an acronym for when my brother Denard was a teenager in Flatbush in like the late 80s, early 90s, and he was part of a gang basically called United Kings, and his acronym was DCQ, destroying competition quickly.
Yeah.
To give you some idea how how the 8th grade was on it in like 89. You know what I'm saying? That's how Flatbush was.
No
was
doubt.
Getting into
I was in a gang.
Time.
I was in a gang called Outlaws of Destruction. We wasn't outlaws and we didn't destroy anything. But that's what we called ourselves.
But so that's how DCQ got that name. He was like a touchstone for every hard rock teenager in my neighborhood, like East Flatbush, Parkside, and all of that. Like, all the local Roughnecks was he he was like a clearinghouse for them. He knew all of them. And on the other side of it, I was completely different. Like I was, my brother was very social, and I was not. And we have very different interests. And he recognized talent in me as a writer. And I never forget, we were sitting there one day in the house, on Hoyt Street, and we were watching Video Music Box. So I'm aging myself, but it's so what? We were watching Video Music Box. For people that don't know, it's when you could, watch videos on TV and call up on your phone and request videos.
Not only that, Yasiin, but I was watching Video Music Box one day, and I saw Umi giving a shout out to you, to Ralph McDaniels, and Ray DeJong.
Really?
Yeah. One of her
My
friends.
mom?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Local people.
That's right.
So, we was watching Video Music Box, and Common's single, when he was Common's single for Take It Easy had come out. It was his first single off of the Can I Borrow $1 album. And we was like, oh, it's still for Chicago. It's dope, It's like that. And we watched that video, and D said to me, he was like, yo, son, we could do this. And I was like, do what? Order another video? He was like, nah, we could do this. Like, we can do that. What they doing, we can do it. And I was like, okay. If you say so, and he was dead serious. He saw something in it. So he started just making it happen in terms of connecting us to people and getting studio times, things that I never would have known how to do, or would have been even forthright enough to do. But he really respected me as a writer. All my homies did. I mean, MCing was that thing that's from the first time that I did it, I excelled at it. It was like it was. When I was 9 years old, it was the first time that a lot of my neighbors really heard me speak in a way that, that they understood or were interested in. And when I did it, they were like, oh, wow, okay. So, it was a way for me to connect with my neighborhood on equal ground. Because apart from that, I was just on another page. In terms of my interests and, temperament, all of that sort of thing. But yeah, long story short, D was very influential in that way. And he was like the manager almost to a certain degree, and I was the creative. So came up with this name for this group, Urban Thermodynamics. I remember walking by on Parkside Avenue, I saw this truck that said thermodynamic heating, and I was like, thermodynamic. It's just, the scientific aspect.
I know them
of
trucks,
it just, appealed to me, and I was like, urban thermodynamics, and I looked it up. It said creating heat and energy. I was like, yeah, okay, this is a thing. So we recorded a demo. Cess was my best friend in high school, and she was like my female social twin in a lot of regards. Because she listened to Fishbone and De La Soul and 24/7 Spies and had dreads and was just like the coolest individual, girl or guy, that I had ever met up until that point.
Bars too, like bars.
And she just had so much charisma and personality that I was like, and she said I rhyme with her, she sing, we were in the drama program together. And she just had like cool shit going on in her life. She had a lifeguard license. So in the summer she always had money because she could lifeguard. So it's like when you 15 and broke and your best friend is like, I got money. You're like, wow, this is like person's like a magician. They have actual their own money that their parents didn't give them. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get it. I couldn't get a job to do nothing. Jesus, like nothing. Like nobody was hiring Dante Smith at that time. She had a job lifeguarding in the building where Miles Davis lived.
Wow.
So she was like cool with Miles Davis because he had come to the pool.
Wow.
And like talk shit to her. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like you talking to Miles Davis? Wow. And I'd be like, you gotta let me come up there. She'd be like, no, because you're not.
You ain't fucking up my job.
Not gonna fuck it up my job. And, you know. And I used to come meet her. He used to live over the Russian Tea Room.
Yeah.
On 57th Street. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You tell me about Miles was funny. He used to make passes at her and shit. It was cute. She thought it was cute, you know. And anyway, Sess is my best friend, my best homie, the person I felt like the most comfortable with, understood me. And I had like this huge crush on her, but it was going nowhere. So I was like, we just friends.
Right.
And when I figured, I was like, we put a group together because the Fugees was out at that time. So my idea was like, so I got DCQ here, I got Sess, I got me. We could be like, you know, a Brooklyn version of the Fugees, but like, you know, more rough, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like BK90 style.
With bottom fronts.
Yeah, with bottom fronts, like that. Like Fugees with bottom fronts, basically. You know, covering like Flatbush, Bed-Stuy, and like Bay Ridge, where Sess was living on the Army base.
Right. Is that where the video was filmed? It looked like it was filmed like in the...
Nah. We filmed at some place like actually, I think it was in Jersey or something.
Okay.
Jersey, some place in New York, some abandoned, you know, like open field. It used to have a lot of that back in the day. It was just like, you know, undeveloped space. In the metro. Not no more, but yeah. So that was the beginnings of UTD. When we did My Kung Fu, and you know, people heard it, people liked this, and it was different. But they responded to Sess's voice, they responded to DCQ's persona, and it responded to me and my voice and my writing. So what I did is like, you know, because I had all these rhymes that I was writing, and I just handed, you know, basically rhymes out to everybody. I was like, okay, you say this. And they wrote some of this stuff to be fair, but like to keep the thing going, I was just like, you know, I had all of this writer's energy in me, so I just wrote for everybody, basically.
Right.
And that's basically how it went. You know, we had a deal on Payday Records and worked with DJ Backspin, who had worked with Busta Rhymes at the time, and so it was an exciting time. I was like 18, 19 years old.
Word.
Black Star is looked at as one of the most important pairings in the history of rap. And I really think people just want to know everything that they can about that era in both of your careers.
They
what
can't.
Do you guys...
It's not possible.
Let us in.
No, it's not possible. It's really seriously, because like Kweli could attest to this. Like, if you weren't there, you weren't there. Kweli talks about a lot of that era in his own book, you know, like about what that was like and the thing. But it's like it's a New York of another time. It's an America of another time. It's pre-internet. It's pre a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, trying to describe the beginnings of you know, Mississippi Delta blues. It's like you could give somebody like a feeling and certain sort of touchstones, but you know, you can't. The music is the vehicle for travel to that era if people are interested in it. But it's actually like beyond that era, because it was just something that's kind of beyond time. Like it was influenced by an era, but it's not. I don't think it's trapped in that era at all. I mean, you know, I'm not a big fan of nostalgia myself. I like to, you know.
But it is interesting that you say that, because a lot of what our era represented to me, from my vantage point, and what made us stand out, I think, is our appreciation for what came before us, particularly on the Black Star album. I think we leaned into that. Like, we talked about Rocksteady. We talked about what hip hop was. We talked about, you know, B-boys. And I think that was important for us artistically. Even in our ciphers in the park, when we first started really hanging out, it was a lot of, we keeping hip hop we are trying to preserve this culture. You know, it's like you said real life documentarians.
Yeah, a cultural preservationist, so to speak. But you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's come on, like we were like, you know, 20 years old, you know, 22,
That's the best time to live.
I mean, it's just coming from another time in our growth and development. And for me, those things were like so personal to me. They weren't necessarily even about like some sort of even cultural preservation. I mean, that aspect of it was there, but it was like, this is what's important to me. You know, I you know, when I was 9 years old, I went on a Great Adventure bus ride with the staff from the Fever nightclub, you know, with they, you know, friends and loved ones, with Melly Mel and, you know, Grandmaster Flash and all of them, like, you know, me and my brother like spazzing out that we were not only going to Great Adventure with brand new black Lee denim suits on,
right?
But they're like, you know, we were sitting next to Mr. G, who you know, recorded games people play, you know, and like Melly Mel from the, you know, and Grandmaster Flash and Fever was like, it was crazy to us. So it was like, you know, it was like being on, it's like being on a bus with Michael Jackson or somebody. Seriously. Right. In my childhood, it was like Michael Jackson and hip hop. That was it. It was Michael Jackson and anybody that made hip hop. Run DMC, Grandmaster Flash.
You worked with Michael Jackson as a young man as well, so it was like you was manifesting that destiny.
I see what you did there, but I'm gonna let it go.
You let that punch slide.
I'm gonna let it go.
Okay, what you can tell me, and both of you guys can answer this. Can you give me a funny story that you guys remember from that time that you have not shared before?
I'm almost 50. I mean, like, I got so many stories in my damn head. I don't know. Like, people had to tell me stories that I forgot about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember moments. You know what I'm saying? I remember feelings and times. I remember writing for the Black Star album in the basement of Quality's house, and that being like a lot
4709 Avenue K.
Yeah, I remember that being like a lot of fun, and like me looking forward to doing that as often as I could. I remember a lot of that era, just like writing rhymes and listening to beats and just being like really comforted by that. Yeah, and having something positive to do with my day and time and my energy.
Sean J. Period like really, beats, high tech beats.
Or, you know, the Stunts Blunts and Hip Hop album. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just being like, this nigga Diamond D is woo.
Right. And that Manifest Destiny, again, y'all rapping over that intro for that beat.
It comes from the Diamond D album. So it's like I remember all of that. I remember where I was when I first heard Lower in Theory. It was like, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? And I remember a lot of people from that time that are not here anymore. Some of my mentors like Suleiman Hakeem, Rahimullah, and others, you know. So it's not like stories or like anecdotes or like, you know, we went into the Waffle House, right? And there was a dude with a blue shirt. And I was like, look at that dude. No, that's not, my memories are like a little bit different. I remember like the vibration and the feeling at the time.
Yes.
And some of it was challenging too. It was like the city was, people talk about this golden era and all of that shit, but it was like, it still was New York City. There was not a lot of interest in young Black people doing anything creative. Like, you know, it was like, y'all just like, you know, slackers, basically. You want to just sit around in the park, hang out all day, smoke cigarettes, smoke weed, drink, get in trouble, and go clubbing. And 50% of that was true. But there was another part of it that was just like, you know, a lot of those slackers were super talented people.
Right, know? Intelligent people.
And
brilliant.
Intelligent people, sensitive people, strong people who are, you know, like dealing with real issues in their life and their homes, their families. Sometimes issues with health. Shout out to Beasley. Remember Beasley who ran Trip and Mars and all that shit? Like people talk about Peter Gation in New York City, but it was all about 6 foot something Beasley with, you know, dark skin with blonde hair passing out flyers to the dopest party in New York City. You know, you go to Mars, it was 4 floors, and they had house on one floor and hip hop on one floor. And that shit was unheard of. Like, people who listened to hip hop went to hip hop clubs. And people that listened to house went to house clubs. And he brought that shit together. So those are the things that I remember from that. And I remember the whole ecosystem of the city and like how, as I look back, I can't find a parallel during that time or any other time where there was anything like that going on any place else. You know, I know they was having fun in other places in the world and other parts, other cities of America, but what was happening in New York, in New York City, when we was 17, 18, 19, 15, 16, was like, it was no parallel. It was just like, it wasn't going on in London, it wasn't going on in Berlin, it wasn't going on in Paris. We thought it might have been. It was reported like it was, but New York was just on some
red hot,
some other shit. And it was red hot, and it had all of the beautiful elements, the culture, everything, all of the super dangerous shit. Like anything could happen to you at any time. It could pop off like day or night. You know, it wasn't like, oh, it's, you know, anything could happen to anybody.
Was born in Fear City. That's what they called it the year I was born. You know, we born in the 70s, Fear City.
Fear City, I mean, 1977, you know, it was a serious era.
Yes, indeed.
Serious era.
I wasn't going to the club during that time, but I remember my mother, I just said you had young parents. My mom was 21 when she had me, so she was still clubbing and partying. And I remember I used to be like, I cannot wait till I get 18 so I can go out, because my mom and my aunt used to stay in the city and come out, and we'd be like eavesdropping and listening to all their stories from the night before. And it was like one of my biggest goals to get out and party in New York City.
And party like your parents said.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be cool. All of the cool kids was hanging out. And it was some of just the dopest music. I mean, as a music lover, you know what I'm saying? It's like you go to hear certain people play and be like, whoa. And then to see certain people dance. Like,
we followed dance. Dancers was celebrities. You go see Henry and Stretch, Mark West, and Rubber Band, and Peekaboo, and
Black Rob, and all that, like, you know, Voodoo Ray.
Voodoo Ray, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Voodoo Ray.
What a great dude.
Marjorie, you know, Asia. It was, you know, people was like celebrity. Khalif, all of the
Khalif was ill.
You know what I'm saying?
Khalif was ill.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
and then it was like rock and roll and punk rock and going on at the same time. It's like New York was like, whoa. It's like I don't know another place that was quite doing it like that, you know. So
I agree.
I'm grateful that we came up in that era and that we still here.
Absolutely.
Amen to that.
Now I want to talk about blackness a little bit. Your debut album, Black on Both Sides. You call yourself Black Dante. You have a band called Black Jack Johnson. You and Black Star, but recently you and me in conversation. We've talked about blackness and sort of moving away from identifying so much as blackness, but talking more about the African politic, because race is a social construct. Can you break some of that down?
Well, as I've said before, there's a quote from my childhood, one of my childhood friends, Kasim Magnetic.
Peace to Kasim Magnetic.
He said, "As black, as white, as money, is all unequal. The adjectives can never be nouns. We are the people." And that ideology of blackness when I was younger was taken from the examples of people like, of course, Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X and others, but for me, primarily them. And also like X-Clan and the Jungle Brothers and Native Tongues and that whole thing. That had a big impact on me. Like Native Tongues,
absolutely.
But I mean, Jungle Brothers in particular. That first and second album, Straight Out the Jungle, Jump Out of Forces and Ages. It's like, you know, the educated man from the motherland. You see me call me a star, but that's not what I am. I'm a jungle brother. A true blue brother. And I've been in many places you never discover. So that whole ethos was in the city, you know what I'm saying? Like people on the, you know, booksellers selling, you know, Message to the Black Man, Behold the Pale Horse, Sheck Anti-Diop. You know, that was the ethos of our youth. So, and to be fair, it was like the cultural status quo. Like if you wasn't on that, you wasn't even invited. Like nobody wanted to hang with you. Nobody wanted to be with you.
That's an interesting point that get lost in the retelling of that history.
Yeah,
it was like popular.
There was nothing else to be on. You know what I'm saying? Like the hard rock, the hardest MC, like solo MC at that time was Rakim.
Yeah.
And he was rocking gold chains, but he was like, so follow me, as you was thinking you was first. Let's travel at magnificent speeds around the universe. What can you say as the earth gets further and further away, planting smaller balls of clay. So it's like, these dudes are like velour and leather, you know, sweatsuits and gold chains, like thinking of a master plan. You know, it was like, that was the status quo. And that was it. You know, like there was an era where like New York not only ran like who the stars were, but like what the messaging was, period. Like there was no glorifying drug talk. There's, you know, maybe have like a little 1 or 2, like, you know, Run DMC was about as like raw as you could get it, but they had the authority, because it's like you could talk about cool cheap rocker, I don't drink vodka, I keep a bag of cheaper inside my, you expected Run to be like, Run, you know,
right.
DJ, I run shit, you know what I'm saying? I do what I want. But apart from that, like, you know, so like literally has songs like Close the Crack House Down. You know what I'm saying? It was like
whole movements.
That was that was what it was for a long, long time, you know? And like bragging about how dope you was as far as you could go, but like, you know, and you had like the Spoonie G, like, you know, the explicit stuff, you know, but that was not on the radio. Rap wasn't on the radio before an hour a week on the weekends with DJ Red Alert and, you know, like local New York radio stations. And that was it. So it was like really a street culture. Even, you know, KRS came a criminal minded. It was like, and my philosophy, it was like, there was no, I didn't see it like that glorifying the gangsterism or gangster lifestyles. And there was some dudes that was like officially, legitimately like in the streets, but they just wouldn't talk about it on records, you know?
Right, street legends.
Yeah, for sure. That all came from where we was growing up at. I don't behave in the way that I'm expected to behave as an artist for certain audiences, you know. People have always tried to make it about one thing or the other with me or us. It's like, oh, you guys are the blackness guys, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, so that's like, you run the blackness lane. You know, they even came up with these, you know, all of these terminologies like conscious rap, and I was just like, it's just kind of like very loose, ambiguous language as opposed to what, like, you know, a sleep rap. Like, what do you even mean when you say that? Right. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like, I mean, commercial rap. It's like, well, you know, our records are for sale. So what are you really saying? With like, what do you like? What type of box are you trying to put us in? And I mean, yeah, I adjust a lot of different themes in my music. It's not just, you know, the theme of like my heritage or politics, you know. But as a younger person, I those things were very important to me, and they're still important to me. But I have a different understanding of them now with the passage of, you know, time and experience, and I express them in another type of way. There was a lot that I wasn't exposed to or didn't know at that time, but there was a lot that I was interested in. There was a lot that I felt on an instinctual level, and I just expressed it. But like I have always been rejecting those type of labels about like, oh, this is what you are. This is how we can categorize you and classify you, so we can arrange you as like a consumer product.
Yeah,
it's just like, you know, we were working artists who were lucky, fortunate enough, and gratefully skilled enough to be able to say that this is our profession, because there were a lot of people, as you can attest to, Kwa, that was super dope that never got to do it at this level or consistently at this level. You know, it was who you know, deserved the shot, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for whatever reason, you know, it just didn't happen for them that way. So that was always the victory to me. Whatever people want to call it, you know, conscious rap, backpack rap. You know, I at this point in my life or career, I'm, you know, I want to spend my energy and time on something else besides just explaining myself or, you know, what I've been doing or what that means. It's like, if it means something to you, whatever I say, whatever I do, fine. If it doesn't, you know, I at least I ain't lied to you. I wasn't like over here pretending to be something that I'm not for your approval or attention. You know, what you got and will continue to get out of me and us is a sincere expression. Whether you understand it or not, it's not a lie. You know, it's what we really who we really are, what we really responding to, or what is really important to us, and I'm just leaving it at that.
Well, one of my favorite things about you as a human being is, more than any artist I know, you live your lyrics, and the idea of saying, well, you know, I'm not going to be on this label, I'm going to focus more on the human condition, has led you to live in Africa, put roots down in Africa, and even try to convince your friends to come live in Africa and for us to invest in Africa. You sent me a video of a woman, Dr. Arikana.
Dr. Arikana, yeah.
Yeah, Chihimbori Kwai, right. And she was former ambassador of the African Union to the United States. And in this video, she speaks about the 14 African countries that still pay taxes to France, and she speaks specifically about the Pact for the Continuation of Colonization. The
Pact for the Continuation of Colonization. It's crazy. Which is the actual name of the document, apparently.
Right. Walk us down the path of how you found her video and why it's been a focus of you to get particularly Black people in America to maybe focus on Africa more.
Well, listen, you know, well, let me say this. Like, I don't want to be the king of anything except myself. I don't want to be anybody's leader. If I have an enthusiasm about something or experience that I had, I will share it with people, especially people in my circle or people that, you know, that are my people, right? But whatever decision people make is on them. There are others before me who have articulated that sentiment much better or clearer than I have or ever may. So the information is out there, and if you're a person seeking that type of information or that type of experience, then what you're looking for is looking for you. That information came to me because I was interested in that information. I was looking for it, so I found it. And it was looking for me because I was looking for it. I was looking to have another type of living experience. I was looking to learn something that I may not be able to just learn through books or just having my experiences, you know, someone just living in America. I wanted to see what this world is shaped like, and not just on work detail. You know what I'm saying? Just coming to a place, doing your work, you know, have the, you know, the kind of, you know, victory lap, hallelujah moment. You get back on the plane and just get back into, you know, the you know, day to day, or what, you know, the quotidian, you know, grind. I wanted to experience life for myself and also for my family, you know, my youth. For them to have another type of experience, at least to have as a reference point, whatever they decide to do, is just that they can say, you know, I had that experience. I saw that. I saw that. I experienced it. I saw it happen. It happened to me. So that's why I did that, and I had the instinct to do that for pretty early on. I was a young kid, you know, standing on the roof of my projects, and I always understood that there was something more than this.
Something bigger.
There's like, you know what I'm saying?
More.
Like,
yeah.
And I'm not unique in that regard. And I'm not the only person that's been like, you know, something out there, and we got to get to it. And I don't know how, but I know that we can.
Yeah.
I know that we got to, because if we don't, like we got at least, we have to at least try. You know what I'm saying? We may not get to it, but we gotta we gotta do something because this shit is crazy. You know, there's more to life than this. It's not to say that life is all terrible here either, but this ain't all that it is. You know what I'm saying? I just had different vision for myself. So that's what I did. And Africa was a big part of that. I don't want anybody, I don't want anybody telling me about it. I wanted to see it for myself, and I'm grateful that I've had those experiences, and I still have those connections and roots in that place. So that's that. If for people who are interested, go see it. And I know it's a challenging time now. I'm sure that a lot of people.
Africa's the only place that we can go for a lot of us.
Right, seriously.
Probably the safest place on the planet right now, actually.
Probably,
yeah. And hey.
The New Danger was originally the Blackjack Johnson album, and it was made with members of the Blackjack Johnson Band, featuring Bernie Worrell from Parliament Funkadelic and Will Calhoun and Doug Wimbish from Living Color.
What made Dr. No from Bad Brains.
Yeah, shout out to Dr. No. Rest in peace to Bernie Worrell as well. Yes,
rest in peace to Bernie Worrell. And shout out to Doc and the whole Brains crew and LC and all of the crew.
Shout out to the crew. What made you decide to celebrate the past in Black music, looking backward to forward and focusing on jazzy?
I just do what I like to do. Like none of it is like, those thoughts emerged like later, but it's like I grew up listening to rock and roll. Living Color had a big impact on me. Bad Brains had a huge impact on me. And they were cool with Bernie. Of course, Parliament had a huge impact on me. I was interested in musicianship. Around that time, Limp Bizkit and all these other groups are coming into prominence for like rhyming badly over kind of like, what I didn't consider like actual rock and roll, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, well, I could do it. I could do that. So that's what I did. And the label wasn't interested in that. They was interested in hearing it from Fred Durst or Korn or Rage Against the Machine, which after Zach left the band, I did get a call to replace Zach, but I didn't take it though.
Right.
Because I was friends with Zach. I was friendly with Zach, and I was like, I don't want to take my man job like that. And I was also like, I got my own thing to do. But that's why I did it, because it was sincere to me. I'm not like, my thing, and pardon me, I don't mean to seem like cantankerous. To be honest, like I'm not a very good interview giver. For whatever
I'm having
reason.
a great time.
I'm having a great time too.
Yeah, but that's you. This shit is like sweat for me, because like I have to be. I'm for whatever reason, people are interested in what I have to say. And
yes, they are.
Some people are not interested at all. I don't take it for granted. I don't over or underestimate any amount.
I do think it's interesting that at that time in your life, to you like that's just I did what I felt like doing, but it is a courageous choice, and just because it's a natural choice for you doesn't make it any less exceptional. And it's definitely.
I guess so. But if I just stay living in that, and I appreciate that people appreciate it. So let me take the compliment, But it's like everybody do what they want to do to some degree or other. You know what I'm saying? It's like we sacrificed for what we needed and wanted. If it was righteous, exactly, was out of order. We say it's in the Black story thing. It's like, everybody doing what you love who you love, even if you faking like you don't. You doing what you want to do all the time, and if you suppressing that, it come out in other ways. So you might just do what you really want to do, at least someplace. You may, it's like and in a lot of instances, more developed. I have been more developed as an artist with my artistic choices than I may have even been in my own life. You know what I'm saying? I may exhibit more courage as an artist at times, or have exhibited more quote unquote courage as an artist at times than I may have exhibited as a person, by my estimation. With very personal things that people won't know about. But I'm not like I'm fortunate enough to be a working artist for the better part of my adult life in various media. The things that I have to say, I say in my art, and this is the way that I engage and communicate with the world.
Right, I get that.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what it is to me is going to be something completely different. It's something that I'm not even trying to cloud people. I say that all the time. It's like, you know, I've always been like keen to like steer away from persona, even when it's like, you know, positive attention. Because whatever you pick up, you gotta hold that.
Yeah.
If you pick up when you're excellent, you gotta hold that, and then when you're not, you gotta hold that too. So I just like, you know, as I heard it said, is that people who love you for what you do, ignore them. The people who hate you for what you do, ignore them. Just do your job.
Is that part of the reason why you made a decision to publicly say, I'm gonna go by my chosen name of Most Def, chosen name of Yasiin Bey or Most Def, and you stopped at that point taking a lot of photos publicly as well? Did that factor into that mind state?
Well, what happened to me, I was at the airport once, and I was coming out of the terminal, coming out of the gate, and someone was like, Most. And there was an energy that they said it with that made me feel like, oh, I'm a thing to that person. Right? They don't know me. They know Most. It was like it was this persona. It was almost felt like they was shouting out like a mascot or something. And I was like, I don't like that. And I was like, there's gotta be, for me, there had to be like the me that I know myself as. I had to push that forward to like keep the weight of any persona from off of me, from and potentially crushing me as a person. You know, it's certain type of praise that can crush you as well.
Yeah.
You know, if you let it. So I was like, nah, because it's like this, you know, it's it's more of an instinctual choice, and it was a spiritual thing. And it was like, okay, you know, it's time for me to just be one thing all the way around the board. And even Wikipedia, niggas like, you know, if I'd have changed my name to anything else besides Yasiin, I really believe it wouldn't be that big a deal. But because, you know, for whatever reason, I'm still fighting for that name. Like Wikipedia, you know, playing games, talking about Yasiin Bey, better known as Most Def.
Right.
As if like Most Def is better than Yasiin Bey. Yeah. Of course it's dismissive. It's completely dismissive. And like I gotta reach out to them, go through all of these like loops and shit. Like I don't want to be on Instagram, but I had to get on Instagram, right, to keep somebody from impersonating me.
Yeah.
Because that's how diligent that Instagram is with, you know, checking they facts, you know what I'm saying, about who somebody is, somebody's identity. Now conversely, they're like, well, it's the internet, you know, you could call yourself whatever you want. But let another service come out called Gram Instant.
Right. And they on it.
And they on it. It's a huge problem. So you know, and I'm not whining or complaining. I'm just noticing that like this is the thing that's going on. And ultimately, in the larger scheme of things, it's not really that deep. These are not the things that people think about like at the crucial moments or on their deathbed. Or like, you know, it's another aspect of the game.
Well, you're talking about priorities, and you know, Priority is a song you made, is one of my favorite records, and you said in that record, peace before everything, God before anything, love before anything, real before everything. That's a track that deals with putting faith in God first. Your sense of spirituality has always been inspirational to me. Narcy came on the show, called you a Sufi mystic. Is it difficult to be a spiritual person, to practice Islam?
Oh, man, I'm a knucklehead in recovery. Just knock it off, man. I'm from, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the projects.
Yeah.
That doesn't, and I'm not ashamed of that. I come from very noble people, very spiritual people that raised me. But I'm not like, you know, I ain't caught up in if that's how people feel about me. Like, listen, I say it a lot. You know, I was Watson Shide, the poet, She shared this prayer with me, this dua, and it really resonated with me. Oh Allah, oh God, you know me better than I know myself, and I know myself better than people know me. So forgive me for whatever they do or don't know. Make me better than whatever they say, and do not make me responsible for whatever they say. You know, because if someone sees me as some sort of mystic, but then I gotta be responsible to that if I pick it up. Right?
That's true.
I can recognize it, but if I pick it up, now I gotta be that guy. And you know, maybe I need to be more than just that guy. Maybe my thing needs to be more dynamic than just being this thing that people see me as or expect me as, or expect me to be. And I understand that, you know, in American life, so many relationships are transactional. Like, you give me this, and I give you that. You know, you play this role for me, and I give you this in return. And for whoever's interested in those type of exchanges, who am I to judge? I'm just doing something different, you know? And I'm not trying to make them explain themselves. And I don't feel I'm compelled to explain myself to them either. And furthermore, I've been running my mouth for 20 years.
Listen to these records.
Like,
right.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, figure it out or don't. Like, what, you know, what am I supposed to say? What you want me to say? You know what I'm saying? I'm here talking to you because it's you. And I'm gonna talk to you like this, like, cause you my brother.
That's right.
But you know what I'm saying? You get it, you don't get it. I don't, you know.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time. What else? What else could I say? You know what I'm saying? I'm just being a natural human being because that's what I gotta be. That's how I like to chill and have fun, is just to be me. You know what I'm saying? And there's all of these other areas of constriction, especially where we coming from. It's like, you can't do this, you can't, you know, what's up? It's like, well, then fuck it. Misunderstand it all you want. I gotta live with me when y'all not here.
Right.
So I need to live with myself as some sort of, you know, I need to live with some sort of respect for myself.
Yeah.
With myself about how I live, and an acceptance of myself, and acceptance of the fact that I'm not, you know, I have gifts and talents, but so, you know, that's not, you know, like, I respect that. I respect it. But I'm not tripping though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the first or last gifted or talented person. It's like, you know, it's like it says in the Desert Dorado, like, do not compare yourself with others, for you may become vain or bitter. For it's always, there'll be persons greater or lesser than you. Yeah. Just do your job.
Ooh,
you know, be yourself and just kind of get on with it, and, like, you know, quit tripping. And trust me, you know, the ego is, you know, you know, it likes those little tasty treats. So you think I'm fly, you think I'm, you know, fly, you know what I'm saying? I'm not immune to that. I haven't been immune to that, but I'm just very keen to just be like, okay, that's cool. If there's something that I did that made you feel good, or like brought you a level of joy that I experienced when I heard or experienced something that I thought was beautiful, and like, that's the juice, you know? And if I was able to get, like, you know, food, clothing, and shelter, and, like, you know, some experiences, it's like the bonanza. So I'm not tripping about
the bonanza. Yeah.
I'm not tripping about none of the other shit. I could, and at different times you do get caught up in it. I have, but then I remind myself, like, whoa, like, my guy, like, you know, from the P's, you know what I'm saying? I buried a lot of people that I can't replace, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that reminded me of experiences that I had with you when I made the decision to come to South Africa to see you, because a lot of our interaction had become industrial in my estimation. We were visionaries who started out together. You had your own vision, I had my own vision. We had our own successes. So then, for my part, and I can't speak for your part, but for my part, a lot of when I would see you, I would feel obligated. I put this obligation on myself to be like, so when we gonna get in the studio, when we gonna do this Black Star album? And I found that wasn't serving me. It didn't feel like I was connecting with my brother in an organic way. And so when I went to South Africa to see you, my plan at the time was, I just need to go see my brother, as if Black Star don't exist, as if I'm just going down the street to see my man. And I think that for me, it helped me out just as a man to grow in that moment.
Yo, that was a very special time for me, brother. And you know, you weren't even out there for like a full 48 hours, and you came out of like sincere concern for me and my family, and for our friendship. And it was a great time to just see you and like see your face how you see me, because I know it was a lot going on. People like what's going on is
Right.
and you came down there and see that I was basically chilling. It was
was chilling.
a stressful, challenging aspect of my time in South Africa, but it wasn't like, man, I learned so much there, and I experienced so much beauty and so much beautiful people, just real life. You know what I'm saying? I took a chance on something. I stood up for something that I believed in. I still believe in to this day.
That's right. Country called Earth.
Yeah, and my man came to check me just to see like, yo, you good? And I was like, I'm good. And he was like, okay, I'm good. And that was that, What I will say is like, is being men, not so to speak, but being men, sometimes in a lot of spaces, we don't always know how to be around each other if we're not like it's not like project oriented. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or it's like we get together to watch the game, or we get together to like drink, smoke, party. Like, and it's the way that we socialize sometimes is not around like actual human connections.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just kind of like surface level stuff. We don't really talk about what's going on inside of us, or it's like seen as a sign of weakness. And all of those are like hustles that got put on us, kind of, So I just want to just say that I appreciate, having those moments with you. I love to just be able to like, I don't want to waste nobody's time. I'm not a chit chatter, you know what I'm saying? But I love to share energy and time with the people that I love. At this point in my life, I'm looking to be as good as a friend as I can to my friends and loved ones, because that's important. I try to be that 3 o'clock in the morning call or reach out for somebody. And I just, I mean, it's one thing to give somebody, sometimes people may need some resources, some money or something from you. Sometimes somebody just need to like, I need you to hear my story. You somebody that I know love me, that I trust. I just need you to hear I'm going through it, Shout out to G Herbo for that, like that black, male mental health awareness check. That shit is real. It's
real.
not a joke. People are out here taking wheatgrass shots and going to the gym and doing all of this stuff to their physical, to like enhance their physical with diet and all of that stuff. But your mind is a part of your body and your spirit as well, and you got to check up and check in, and this is particularly in a time like this, where it's challenging for a lot of people because they're experiencing something that they never experienced. Myself as well. Like, we never been in a time like this before, so you need your people. As Chappelle said, community is important, and sometimes we treat each other like co-workers, but not brothers and community members. And it's a lot of us, bruh. It's a lot of us that have a lot of love and respect and admiration for each other. We never talk. And I don't know what I got a lot of different reasons with what that may be a function is, like, colonial hangover or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Colonial hangover. I never heard that one.
Me neither.
That's a good one.
But it's I see it in other communities, other industries and fields. Like, people keep in touch. They don't always agree on shit either. Sometimes they be like diametrically opposed on like issues that are really, really important to them. But they know how to agree and disagree. And I've seen them like care about one another. You know what I'm saying? About like, yo, how is so-and-so doing?
Yeah.
What's up with my man? You know what I'm saying? that call to just be like, I don't need nothing. I'm not trying to get nothing out of you. I'm not working an angle, just saying peace. Like, what's up? That engenders people sometimes to be like suspicious. Like, you know, everybody wants something.
Right.
And it's like sometimes if you would just say, I want you, I'm trying to get this thing popping and will help. I'm trying to do something with you. I got a project. I mean, because we have a very developed muscle with doing that with each other, like working out deals and getting numbers and schedules and about where you gonna be and you know how we gonna flip it and plan it. But it's like, okay, after the project is done, like how we really vibing with one another. Beside like the, you know, and I think that's important. And I, you know, so. Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, brother. Thank you. Love and respect.
I want to first, before I ask my question, say thank you for bringing up don't live or die by people's praises, because I have a good friend that tells me that a lot. Because whenever I see like a comment on social media that's like, oh, you're doing a great job, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing a great job. I'm having a great day today. And then if you know, do like plan your day out by, oh, I'm gonna have a great day because someone gave you a compliment. When someone doesn't give you a compliment or gives you a negative comment, then your day is shitty. So I really want to thank you for
that's a good point.
For bringing that up, and also not letting people put labels on you, and you not picking up what other people are putting on you, so that you won't have to feel the pressures of being whoever to anybody else, because those are things that we all definitely need to remember.
You know, there's a lot that's been put on us, particularly as like, you know, so-called black people. You know, it's all about somebody's. So much of what we've experienced in life in America and in a lot of parts of the world is based on someone else's preconceived notion of who we are, based on a very narrow set of based on very narrow information, you know, or based on knowing something about you, people pretending that they know you. And it's like, you don't know me. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
I don't know you, and I'm not gonna pretend to know you. If you're interested enough to know me and find out something about me, then I'm interested enough to know you. And if I'm not bothering you, then what difference does it make?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have heard that I did so-and-so to so-and-so, and that may or may not be true, but if I'm not doing that to you, what difference do it make?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm not hurting you or impeding you, so why I gotta bow or like subscribe to what any of your ideas or notions are about me when the whole world has been telling me all of this false information about who I am, what my history is, what's important to come out my community. And all of us in our heart of hearts know that all of that shit, the majority of this shit, if not all of it, is completely false. And what even is true is like twisted to serve some sort of false narrative. So, you know, you get to a point where you be like, well, fuck it then, you know? This story ends the same way for all of us. We all walking in the same direction to a grave, in essence. So we can't run from that. You know, death finds everybody.
Yeah.
You know? So it's, but how do you get there? And what condition do you get there in your heart or mind? So it's like, you know, let's just dispense with the like, you know, you're the expert on me because you know something about me and something that I did. Like, I'm not gonna pretend to know you. I'm not gonna let you pretend to know me. And I'm not gonna be locked up or shackled up based on some sort of preconceived notion that you have about me. I don't think that that's like courageous. I think that's just like common sense, to be honest. You know, like there are things that are just like, you know, plain basic horse sense, as my grandmother would say. You know, apparently for whatever reason in certain parts of the world appeared to be in like such scarce supply that they become like these commendable virtues. So, well, this is basic stuff as far as I'm concerned.
We've talked a lot about Madlib on the show. What is it about Madlib's production that you like so much?
What is it about anything that you like or love so much? If you had to describe anything that you like or love, how would it make you feel? Right? Why do you like chicken and waffles? You're like, this shit is tasty.
Makes you feel warm inside.
Delicious
So it's
to
tasty,
me, nigga.
it's delicious.
Why do you
Donuts.
like the Jordan ones?
Jay Dilla.
I like the way the beat make me feel.
Yes.
I you know what I'm saying? I like those sounds. I like the way that they're arranged. I don't care if somebody else they don't have to like them. It's like it's not a crime to like them or not like them. They turn me on. Like I gotta, there's things that I love. I don't want to explain why I love what I love. And I'm bothering you. This shit is fly to me.
Well, I got a whole
I love
album
it.
as
I
well.
love it.
That's why it's fly to me. I don't even be thinking like that. I don't know why. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you fall in love with somebody, like, why do you love me? What are you talking about, nigga? Because, you know what I'm saying?
do.
That sounds like a whole different conversation.
Like, what kind of, Sigmund Freud shit is he playing? Like, are you coming over or not? Like, what's going
Yes.
on?
With that mouth. I'm okay, sorry.
Like, what are we doing?
Well, to people who don't know, Madlib has produced the whole next Black Star record, and I'm excited about it. It sounds great. But I want to ask you about something that we've been talking about a lot, which is streaming. You're very critical of streaming, Spotify in particular. There's plenty of possible valid reasons that we could pontificate on, but I want to hear you explain to the people who are looking for the new Black Star album, or looking for new Yasiin Bey content, why you feel like they need to come to you directly.
Okay.
I mean, not to me, because I know.
No.
For people like, for the rest of us
First of all,
who aren't there,
this is not like I'm critical of streaming. Like streaming is a nigga that live in my building, who got a, you know what I'm saying, who got a bad attitude or a leaky bathroom.
I don't fuck with that streaming.
Right.
dude.
Like that streaming nigga, I don't like him. See the way he be treating his family.
That nigga streaming move funny.
He's always shouting at his girl, and she's nice. Anyway, it's not about streaming. That's not the problem, right? It's about, you mean to tell me that the source of labor at the center of this experience is supposed to be satisfied and grateful with receiving a portion of a penny for their efforts and labor. Now, whoever else is happy with that, then that's you. You can take your labor to the market however you see fit. But when it relates to something that I'm doing and that I've been doing, I don't have to ask you niggas permission. I don't have to get your understanding. If I'm ambivalent or like, I don't know, something I just don't feel right, and I'm searching for a better way to do it, that's completely my volition. I'm not here to be run by the audience's expectations.
Yes.
Right? Because I have my own needs. You have your own needs. And to quote Kurt Cobain, it's only a few people that really love music, and they all musicians. And people that appreciate and listen to music don't like to hear that shit. And you know why? Because the reality is that people who really, really love music, at some point, they all try to make it.
It's a word.
Right? People that really love art, at some point, in one way or another, they try to make it. That doesn't mean that the audience is not important or that they're not a part of the exchange. We don't want to, because everybody got a gift that they want to share with people. And we don't just exist for our own sake. The trees are not here just for themselves or other trees. They're here for the cosmos, the expression of the cosmos, right? Which is everything, all of the living things that we can see and not see. That's what it is. So I'm saying the audience is important. But let me be clear about this, and I may be even provocative or vulgar. You motherfuckers don't get to tell me what to do with what I make.
Mm-hmm. Tell him again.
It's between me and God. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Y'all niggas wasn't with me in the gym. You didn't even know where the fucking gym is at, my nigga. So I appreciate your enthusiasm, but that shit is not a steering wheel on my back for you to start fucking, spinning and doing donuts. Like I'm disappointing you. Mm-hmm. If you want the next Black Star album that bad, then you make it. Oh, that's right. You can't.
Damn.
You can't.
Well, that's right.
So just chill out until we get the shit sorted out, because who the fuck is more central to Black Star than Black Star?
Yes, indeed.
I get it. We want it too. You think you want the album more than us? Knock it off.
Knock it off.
Right.
Knock it off. How you did not spend the hours with that music or with those ideas. We did. Mm-hmm. And we've been doing this shit for the better part of our adult lives. So respectfully, mind your business. Try today for free. When we ready with it, you'll get it. We've already given you real enough indication. What the fuck else do you want? Madlib actually played a Black Star song at a gig. We're not joking with you. It's not hype. And forgive me if I'm getting amped about it, because niggas is like, this shit is never gonna come. Okay,
No, get him, because the music makes us exciting.
Let me just say
it's
this.
Exciting for us.
I've been doubted before. You've been doubted before, and many of the doubters have been wrong. And I'm not here. That's not what drive me. Like, I'm gonna prove y'all niggas wrong. No. I wanted to do something with niggas that I love, that do things that make me feel good, right? And if you share that type of enthusiasm with me, then you welcome. But you're not the boss of me.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's not that type of transaction. It's not. In a strip club, okay, with performers to be like, don't touch me like that, because I don't like it.
That's right.
I don't give a fuck how much you tip me. Stop touching me now.
Right.
Because I'm the boss of me.
Right. That's right.
I love how you use a stripper analogy.
It's the truth. This is a labor.
This is perfect.
I don't like the way that the labor exchange is happening around it. And why wouldn't I? What type of Frankenstein, Bugs Bunny motherfucking math these niggas talk about? I'm supposed to get part of a fucking penny? Who looked at a fucking penny and decided it could be broken up into parts to be meted out to the people central to the fucking labor?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? This is some continuation of the same type of shit that you was talking about with the
pact.
Yeah, the continuation of continuation of colonialization. All of this shit is a colonial hangover. All of their mathematics is similar. Mm-hmm. It's like you work for us, you don't work at all. Let me tell you something. I don't know shit about space program. And I ain't perfect, but I know this. The God that I serve ain't interested in my misery. I'm not here to be miserable for none of these niggas. Nobody, myself included. I'm not interested in my own misery. So I'm not interested in the misery that anybody trying to put on my back. And if you're trying to tell me that I got to put it out on your schedule and not get paid what it's worth, but what you tell me it's worth, then we always going to have a fucking problem.
Yep.
Right? Because my grandmother wasn't a sucker. And I don't come from sucker people. And I'm nice and cool, posse and more, but you fucking with the wrong one with that.
Right.
And I don't like to talk a lot. I'm here for you. I'm here for you, Kweli, and I'm here for everybody that's here with you, but I don't give a fuck about none of that. Y'all niggas can't, I'm not here for it. No right? Doubt. So, with that being said, stop knocking on the fucking kitchen door talking about when is it coming, when none of y'all niggas could cook at all. Yes. Go cook some shit that you like to eat and have the shut up ceviche and get some yummy to your dummy. Just get the fuck, just leave me alone. Leave me alone, because I'm busy.
Yes.
Right.
Whether just because you didn't see it on your radar, You think that, like if you didn't notice it, it wasn't happening?
Right. The world disappeared.
This is why I don't come outside a lot, Kwa. This is why I don't come. I'm a people person, but sometimes people ruin that, as Damon Wayans said.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? And I respect the audience, but I'm not gonna let these niggas run me. Cause the moment that they feel that they got the lasso on, then you are just a fucking puppet. And I didn't. Come on, man. No, that's not. That's not what it said on the application for be a rock star.
I didn't sign up for this.
No, This is not part of the gig.
Right.
I love it. I fucking love it. So I'm gonna take that answer to my Manny Fresh question I had coming up, and I'm gonna switch gears onto your acting career. If you took your acting and looked at it totally separate from your music, you'd still be a legendary actor. You've done it all from plays to TV. And do you have a favorite role that you have acted in already?
No.
No.
I have ones like favorites that, like ones that I really, really enjoyed to sit out. Top Dog Underdog was like,
I was gonna say that one that's like my favorite.
Top Dog Underdog, fucking A. Off Broadway. I've been fortunate in that regard to work with people I love and respect on things that I care to do, that excite me, or like challenge me or make me just feel like getting up in the morning to go do this shit. You know what I'm saying?
And when I remember seeing Monsters Ball in the movie theater and knowing that you were in it. But when you appeared on screen, brother, I didn't recognize you until a few scenes in. Thought you did a great job on that. I was like, oh shit, that's Mos. It was great acting. And then again with Cadillac Records, what I remember is me and you was hanging out when you was filming Cadillac Records. And you had the
my daughter. Shut up.
I met her too.
She said the relaxer.
She knows what I'm talking about. You had the relaxer in, and you was moving like Chuck with the relaxer and the gear and everything.
What the fuck else am I supposed to do,
But
Kweli?
it was funny,
I
but
was
it's funny.
paid to portray Chuck Berry.
But I didn't know.
I
didn't know.
had to make
know.
an effort to be believable.
But here's what's funny. I didn't know you was in that movie. I didn't know why the fuck you was doing that.
Did you know what the movie's about? It's about I was playing Chuck Berry.
Listen. I didn't know they was filming the movie. I didn't know that
I
the
gotta
movie had
smoke
Chuck
a cigarette now. It's hot in here.
Chuck Berry was in it. I didn't know you was cast as Chuck Berry. I just knew that you was acting strange. I was like, what's Moses?
No, I was acting like Chuck Berry. Did you read the description of the movie? You just came in there like, oh, Cadillacs, records. I like them both. Let's see what's going down. Yo, why Moses moving like that? Yo, why this nigga got a perm and a guitar? What's going on in this movie?
No, I'm not talking about in the movie. I'm talking about we was hanging out. Like outside of the movie.
When?
You had to process.
Right.
And you was dressing
playing
like
Chuck Berry.
Method
but
acting.
I didn't know the movie was being filmed.
Oh, so you just thought like, oh, this nigga Moses on one. He done seen through it. He done been listening to some Outkast records, and this nigga is.
You got a rap.
Okay, I understand the context.
Yeah, it was confusing to me for a minute. But then I saw the movie, I was like, oh, I get it. Because he was talking like Chuck and everything, but I had no context.
Was I?
Yeah, he was,
Method acting.
I don't remember that quite.
Method acting.
Maybe that around that time you was, I mean, we had some strong cannabis.
Yeah, I smoked a lot of weed. I was living in Los Angeles at that time. But.
Oh yeah, so maybe it wasn't me.
No wonder when I was like, yo, let's go to the studio and do this Black Star album, niggas was not responding.
It was like, but you're going to need the other half of Black Star, though. I mean, do most know about this?
Yasin, what set did you have the most fun on?
I don't know, Jasmine. I don't know.
I need to know for the people. I'm the one that has to act. We want to know.
I don't know. I got paid on all of them. I was happy that the check cleared, And nobody was like, oh, he sucks. The guy, he's smelly. Maybe they was like, he's smelly. I don't know. You do a movie, you have no latitude. You do all of this, you put all of this energy out. And you like, I don't know what the fuck is going to end up on the screen.
Right.
You just give it your all and then you go away. Yeah, and then some shit end up on the screen. You're like, oh, they kept that take. Or they didn't keep that take. Or, you know, it's not, you know.
But that's an inside track. I mean, that's an inside, because I've heard that from other actors. I mean, I've heard that Jared Leto don't even watch any of his movies.
Oh, wow.
You know, so that's an inside track, interesting take on it.
You know, I got into acting as a child for a school play, Free to Be You and Me, and I really liked it. I was able to be physical and use my brain. I personally describe the arts as athletics for geeks and nerds. So I'm a physical person, but I wasn't going to play junior varsity or join the wrestling team and no shit like that. So I did music and art. That's how I, you know, because that's how I like to, as Dave said, that's how I like to chill.
But one thing you have more control over is, you know, your art. You told me that you retired from the industry, but of course you didn't retire from making art. You did the compound was set free. You did the exhibit at the Brooklyn Museum and other places. I think you did that with other places, right? With Niggas, right?
Niggas is still more coming with, but we did. We did pilot runs in Niggas in Marrakesh, Hong Kong. And then the official exhibition open was at Brooklyn Museum when we had all of the artworks. Big shout out to Julie Marie too for like just agreeing. I mean, like, yeah, it's such a bar for me. And it's also like it taught me a lot about this quote unquote art establishment, because, you know, make no mistake, like Julie Marie too don't just agree to be in people's shows. And so you like when you talk about big deals in the visual art world, I don't know a bigger artist in the world today in terms of like impact and like respectability and scale. Like okay, let me put Julie Marie to in context for you. Like right now in New York City, she has a standing installation in the lobby of the Goldman Sachs building that if you want to see it in person, you have to make a fucking appointment, okay? The legend goes is that the canvas cost 7 figures to even stretch. That's how big this shit is, right? Wow. Her medium is extra large. She's a woman. She's African. She's born in Addis Ababa. She went to school in Senegal, and she did my show with music, which she didn't have to do. A no would have been like, thank you for even taking my call.
Yeah.
And certain niggas, not niggas, but certain niggas try to act like that didn't happen. And it's cool. It's cool, but that was, it's not just a big deal to me, it's a big deal, period.
Well, you've made a point to me that art is the only thing that doesn't depreciate. Art continues.
It's the lasting treasure in the world that is born to die. The Confederate money can't get spent anymore, but the Confederate art, or quote unquote art, is a form of currency in itself, not because of its quality necessarily,
obviously not,
but because of the, and there may have been some quality artists in that time. I haven't been exposed to Confederate art. I don't know, but I'm sure there was some skilled painters or other artisans that held that political point of view, but their work is more valuable. It's lasted longer than the idea of the Confederacy or the money. Yeah. So that's how I view art. It's the when the empires fall, what are the first thing that they start looking at? And the artifacts, the art. What did they wear? What were their songs? What was their poems? Who was the people that they respected or lauded, or who was the people's champion? And they don't be, so that's how I regard the art.
That's a healthy regard. I want to give you the opportunity to you want to read some Toynbee for us at this point?
I don't have. Hey, you think I brought the Toynbee book out with me? No. You think I know Toynbee from memory? Not yet. Give me a week.
But you saw
or two.
Chappelle mention the kindest conspiracy on SNL, right?
Yes.
I feel like that was developed based on conversations you was having with him.
Well, let me tell you how the kindest conspiracy came to be.
Mm-hmm.
The kindest conspiracy came for something that Dave said in San Francisco with me, him, and Madlib.
Mm-hmm.
And he said something that's like, Dave Chappelle said, this is a kindness conspiracy. It doesn't matter what the governments do. As long as we're good to one another. It doesn't matter who the king or the queen is or is not, as much as some of us think. What matters is how you treat each other. Beyond blackness or whiteness. Beyond red or blue. It's not about how you agree, it's about how you disagree. And trust me, I'm a niggas. And shout out to the people of Ethiopia, the Tigray, all original peoples of the world, native peoples, Oromo, all of those people. Be good to one another. Be good to one yourself, to yourself. Kindness is a form of intelligence and brilliance, and cruelty is a form of stupidity. Right? Smarten up, because as Benjamin Clementine said, treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yes, indeed.
Be aware that your days are fully numbered. And that's the deal. Whoever's out of office, that's the deal. The kindness conspiracy is to treat each other as kind as we possibly can. And I don't have the best temperament all the time. As I grow older, there's parts of me that like really curmudgeonly. And there's parts of me that's like, I'll snap on you, nigga. Right? But there's no victory in that. Right. What am I really communicating with that? I'm talking with my ego. And it's some sort of learned behavior that I adopted to survive a harsh environment.
Yeah.
Right? But that don't really work. And I don't want to crush the I don't want to crush my own human suppleness. But all I having to be harsh. I can do it. It's a you know, it's a gear that many of us have, but like, what do we really win in that regard? And every time that you're harsh, you know, or like too quickly, not shortly thereafter, you always regret it. I know I have. Yeah. You know, it's a, you know, a high price, small reward, or sometimes no reward.
Yes, indeed.
I was actually just watching you last night on the Chappelle Show, not even doing research. I was just watching the Chappelle Show, and your freestyle, I don't know if it was a freestyle or not, but you guys riding in a car.
Oh, the car, Close Edge?
Yeah, Close Edge. That was the, I was working on New Danger at that time, and I told Dave, like, I got this new shit I want you to hear. So, yeah, that's how that came. It was like it was Dave's first time hearing it. It was my first time like performing it outside of the studio.
I know you had a close relationship with Dave Chappelle even before the Chappelle Show, and you guys have a project coming up together on Luminary. Can you both talk to me about that friendship and how it's affected your lives and creative output and what the new project is?
I could.
Certainly.
But I could show you better than I could tell you.
So I can't get any deets until it comes out?
What is there to say? It's to be experienced. It's nothing to say.
They have to experience it.
You gotta come into the thing, and gratefully, I'm doing it with two human beings that man, these is my brothers. This is like, this is when I'm in the foxhole with them, and I'm at the victory laps with them, right? And this is what God put us here to do. So we doing it. So, just to even be here talking to you and talking to you at this platform, I gotta say this too about Talib Kweli, because I know there's been a lot going on with your name and all that shit. Let me tell you something. You don't have to love my friends. You don't have to understand my friends, right? I'm not gonna apologize for my friendship with none of my friends, because I know them in ways that you don't. I know them in the hours that you would never get to see them. You know what they do. I know who they are.
Ooh.
Right? So and you being in this space is perfect. You excel in this space. You excel as a human being. You excel as someone I respect. You excel as an intellect. And for whatever people try to say about you, which I don't really register, because I know who you are, and I love you because of you and in spite of you, and you're a man that I respect as a man. And you one of the illest MCs. And you've been that way since I met you. But if you stop being the illest MC, if you lost your voice, if you lost your capacity to move or express yourself in the way that you do, I still love you. Because I know who you are beyond what you do. And I want to tell you a secret. I see that they, evicted you from Twitter, but I want to share this with you and the audience out in the world. People think that you got evicted off of Twitter because of whatever exchange that you was having with somebody, but what really happened is that me and Dave called the owner of Twitter and we told him we gotta get him out of there because he's our brother. And I just didn't want to hold that secret no more. You know what I'm saying? Because I had asked, we had appealed to you in so many ways. We had like Twitter interventions and all of that shit. But me and Dave came together. I was like, yo, Dave, I'm gonna need your star power to do something that we need to do for our brother, which is to get him off of Twitter. And when I found that you got evicted off of Twitter, I personally had a celebratory gelato with my family and myself because I was that happy. You know what I'm saying? I had a celebratory gelato. I smoked some, good premium tobacco. I had a warm tea, and I thanked my Lord and Savior for coming through and answering one of my prayers. And I hope that you may be mad. I hope that this is not like a some obstruction of traffic in our relationship. But we did what we felt was best, and it may have been uncomfortable for you in the beginning, and maybe even now. But in the long run, I'm sure that you will see that this was it was the right thing.
That is hilarious. And I love you too, Yasiin.
So when he was talking, you were real deep into the bromance, and then you said evicted from Twitter, and I thought you were about to go into some more seriousness, and I was trying to hold in my laughter because evicted is just the funniest word you could have used.
I mean, it's the correct word.
Nigga, they evicted you from Twitter. They was like,
his stuff was at the keyboard.
Get out, Mr. Nigga.
I put my phone on the couch.
Don't come back here no more. Hit the road, Kweli, Talib, whatever you want to call yourself. And just take that shit to Instagram or your Patreon page. We've had it. Take you and your followers and all of your observations and your arguments and pack your shit out of Twitter house because you can't live here no more. You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get the hell out of Twitter. And I was like, yes.
You gotta tweet somewhere else.
Yes.
But Yasiin, you have to share with the people. You have to share with the people that I did say to you, I said, when we were working on the Black Star album, I said, the day that we announced this Black Star album,
no, I wasn't waiting that long. I had to push the button. You had to go do something about it? I had to push the button, son. I did what I had to do. I'm sorry.
He pushed the wrap it up
however
button.
I got to make it to, they got some new Jordans coming out. I know you like hats.
I like hats.
And fine dining. we could work it out,
like
my
fine
nigga.
dining,
You know what
I
I'm
do.
saying? Like, you know,
Yeah.
we have a couple
This guy
of dinners.
knows me. This guy knows me.
Hey, you have a couple of dinners. Hey, who cares about Twitter? This fish
That's
is
right.
delicious.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And that's the word. That's the lesson. Yasiin Bey, I love you. I love you so much, brother.
Thank y'all for spending some time with my shenanigans. Give it up for Black Alfalfa is making
That's
his
right.
debut in the world. Shout out to Anwar Khalifi.
That's right.
Who am I
That's
missing?
right.
Happy birthday to Sada Baby. Happy birthday.
Shout out to Sada, baby.
Happy birthday. Look me in my eyes, nigga. I ain't fake at all.
You can get me the best child award if you can shout out my mom since you're doing your shout outs.
Hey, shout out to Mama Lee. Shout out to all of the moms. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to your
Yes.
mom.
Yes,
shout out to
the
Charlie
moms.
Brown and his moms. Shout out to all of the moms.
Yes, indeed.
And the pops too.
And the pops.
Yeah.
That's right. It's community here. Ladies and gentlemen, Yasiin Bey has blessed the People's Party.
Thank you.
God bless.
God bless
God bless.
y'all.
God bless.
Peace.